Chances are, if you're watching this, you're probably debating on seeing Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. And as someone who just watched the movie this afternoon, I want to review it for you so you can make that sound decision to spend your hard-earned time and money on a worthy cause, which is darn good entertainment. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank, I would recommend skipping this movie. Now, if that's all you needed, go to the movies, go probably see something else, let me know how your trip goes. But before you go, I'd be honored if you'd consider clicking the like button so people just like you're able to find this video. But if you want to hear my full thoughts on the movie, stick around to the very end. I think there will be some stuff that you'll want to hear. So what is Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank about? It's about this cat named Ikachu who is really the sovereign over this village that is beneath his palace. He watches over this village under the guise of the Shogun, which is the grand governor, I guess, of this country. And the problem is this village is obstructing his view from the palace, so he wants to go ahead and get rid of it without the Shogun knowing, because the Shogun likes the village. So in order to get everybody out of this village, he sends a dog prisoner named Hank, who's voiced by Michael Cera, down to this village to become the samurai, and in order to drive all of these villagers crazy. Why would it drive the villagers crazy? Well, because they're all cats and they hate dogs. There's this sort of metaphor that the movie's playing into. So now Hank, against all odds, has to try to become the samurai of this village and defend it when nobody wants him. And that's really about it in a nutshell. That synopsis was surprisingly difficult to give. Let me start off with what I really didn't enjoy about Paws of Fury, which was quite a few things, if I'm being honest. I thought the script was just really weak. It felt like this movie was just trying to be this one giant metaphor that was meant to cater to kids and also have really cheap humor. I'll get into the cheap humor in just a second, but this digestible metaphor, I just found it really underwhelming. It's one that we've heard a million times and it gets kind of overplayed here, which is the fact that it's not what matters on the outside of you, it's what's on the inside. It's who you are as a human being or dog or animal or whatever, not what you look like. And it's fine if the movie has something interesting to add to that conversation, but the movie just feels like a rehashing of it, and a really uninteresting one at that. And what really makes that uninteresting is, one, the dialogue is really poor. None of the characters, including Hank, are likable at all. And the script just kind of contradicts itself at several points. I have to be careful to avoid spoilers in that regard, but it's nonsensical and it's really frustrating. When you can't even get me to get on board with any of the characters on the very poster of the movie that you're marketing, that's a problem. The movie places Hank at the very center of itself, and you want to root for him to become the samurai and to show everyone that he's capable of doing it. But by the end of the movie, you just don't really care about him, and you really don't even really want to see him succeed. And honestly, by the time you get to the end of the movie, you really don't care about any of the characters' success, except for one, which I'll get to in a second. Now, let me touch upon the humor of this movie. The humor of this movie is not very clever. It's very wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of deal. Like, they'll make a reference to the outside world, or it even references its own runtime at several points. It's a very failed, very stale attempt to really draw the audience in and get them to laugh. I didn't laugh once, and I kind of rolled my eyes at quite a few of the jokes that they made. They're all these just little jabs that more feel so annoying than amusing, and it got overplayed just so many times throughout the 85 minutes of this movie, and I just found it to be really cheesy, really unappealing, and just falling flat. Now, what did I enjoy about Paws of Fury? It's got a few redeeming qualities, one of which is right to my left here, which is Amiko. Amiko is the most interesting character of the entire film, and it's a shame that she was not the front and center of it. I feel like they could have made Paws of Fury centered around her as a character, and the movie would have been 1,000 times better and a lot more interesting. She is the one character that you actually get to like throughout the film, you get attached to, and is actually the only one who really makes sense. The movie just shows you she is capable of so much more, and it's really disappointing not to have seen her used a little bit more. If they made a spin-off of this movie all about Amiko, I would honestly be interested in watching it way more so than I was interested in seeing Paws of Fury. And in addition, this movie actually had some really solid pacing. To its credit, it never really felt slow. I think that the only problem I had with the runtime was it felt like it took a little while to end. It felt like they were really trying to elongate and stretch the runtime just at the very end of it, but overall, it doesn't take a while to get going. It keeps its steady cadence throughout. And I will say the very end of this movie, about the last 2 minutes, are probably the best parts about the overall experience. But the problem is, by the time you get to that point, you're already checked out and it's too far gone to really savor those last 2 minutes. It's just too little too late. Nothing could save the movie by that point. So friends, if I have to give Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank an overall score, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Honestly, you could skip this one. The only exception being if you got a little kid in your life who wants to be entertained for an hour and 25 minutes, fine, go see it with them. They might enjoy it. I don't think you will though. Friends, thank you so much for watching another Bankrupt Hippo movie review. If you thought this was helpful or valuable, I'd be honored if you consider clicking the like button so people just like you are able to find it. Or if you like movie reviews or other videos just like these, click these end cards up above or the links down in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Once again, this has been the Bankrupt Hippo YouTube channel. I've been Bryson. Until next time, have a great day.